Hey folks, Moose here, Dakota Territory Air Museum in front of this amazing 106 Delta Dart. This screaming fast plane is the perfect backdrop to talk about this screaming fast camera body, the Nikon D5. Now many folks have asked, when am I going to talk about this camera? Now's the time. Been shooting with it for about 7 weeks. I've shot a whole bunch of landscapes, some amazing birds, great mammals, and now aviation, a lot of aircraft. And in all those scenarios, the D5 does a better job than the D4S for me and my photography. Let me tell you how. First and foremost is the autofocus system. It's still amazing. It's still kind of complex, and I still haven't quite got a grasp of how it's all working. I just know it works. In fact, it works a whole lot better. I showed you some photographs about a month ago of some sharp-tailed grouse behind some grass. I mean, those photographs, shooting an auto area AF where closest subject priority should have made that grass what the camera focused on, it didn't grab the eyes. I have a feeling the focus, the face detection and the autofocus and the custom settings is doing a better job for us. That's amazing. Now the actual speed of the autofocus system, it is quicker. And I wish there was a scale I could say it's X amount faster. I just know from the response time, what I was used to and now what I have, it is quicker, especially on something that's coming straight down that lens barrel. That's pretty darn cool. Next is the entire matrix metering, range of dynamic range, the whole thing. It just does it better in the D5. Now I wish there was actual photographic terms that I could say it does this, this, and this to make sense to you, but I don't have those. The only thing I can kind of, relate it to is the old CDS cells back from the Nikon F2 and the F3 back in those days. Because now we use exposure compensation to communicate emotion on what I was like originally started with. I don't have to go down to real minus exposure compensation, shooting below before the sun comes up or when the sun goes down. Exposure compensation, I'm dialing it in for certain situations like right now. I'd probably plus a third on this camera shooting, which is kind of how it was back when I was a young fart back in the old days. And it does it so well. It's just absolutely amazing. I love it. What else about this camera? Well, the fact that it takes the same kind of accessories as the D4S, the battery and stuff, that's kind of nice. It has the biggest accessory that, the D4S had available to it, but didn't take all the technology, was the WT-RT wireless system for the SB5000 flash. That is absolutely stunning. I can't say enough great things about it. How cool. This last weekend I took my flashes and my WT unit, put it on someone else's camera body, hit the button, paired it up, put out the multiple flashes. We did a group portrait that fast. No testing, just done. You couldn't do that in the old days. That is an incredible accessory. That makes this camera incredibly powerful. Now, are there things I don't really like about the D5? There's a couple of things that kind of bug me. First and foremost is that while we do have 2 XQD cards in here, which I love because they're fast, that you don't lose them, that part is great. You got big fingers, you have gloves, and you try to push on that tab to pull out just one card, forget it. You got to take the glove off. You got to be careful. I don't like the fact that you have to have 2 buttons to pull those cards out. Next, the way that the autofocus, the group area AF, which I use all the time, we have those squares, we don't have the dots anymore. Visually, to me, it kind of bugs me. But those are nits, okay? Every photographer's got nits, I got nits. But as far as the performance, the files, everything else it's doing, it's killer. Now, before you sit there and say, hey Moose, what about the high ISO? If you've been watching me for years or reading my stuff, I'm not a high ISO kind of guy, all right? It's not my shtick. I'm not going up to whatever it is, 3 million blah, blah, blah to shoot. My clients need a quality file, and if I have to start doing things like raising high ISO, me as a photographer, as far as I'm concerned, I'm doing something wrong. So I don't go there, so I can't answer that question. I know that for my shooting, my clients, and right now this camera's already making me money, which is really important. It's already solving problems that the D4S couldn't. It's a great camera. So the D5, in a nutshell, I love it. It solves problems to me. It's just the next evolution in DSLR work, and it's what I need to solve my issues behind a camera so my clients can see what I'm seeing. And that's what photography is all about. Nikon D5, folks. I'm loving it. You should try it.